The tourism value chain. Tourism industry is quantified as one of the world rapidly rising economic sector worldwide. The contribution is vital by driving growth, reducing poverty, fostering development and tolerance, as well as creating employment opportunities. Tourism service providers should develop competitive advantage in order to stay in the market. Extraordinary experience is the ultimate goal for the travel and tourism industry. Countries and tourism service providers should facilitate distinct travel experience to increase competitiveness in order to stand out among competitors. This will lead customer satisfaction and loyalty. The tourism value chain is related to services and product within a tourism destination. It is a tool to know and find ways to enhance competitive advantage as it divides a firm to a discrete activities such as designing, producing, marketing, and distribution of product and service. Each step, from extraction of ideas to input of raw materials to product creation and manufacturing to distribution. This step can be understood also as a multiplier effect. Every step that is taken adds more value to product or service. The travel activities consist of a series of activities experienced by tourists, provided by multiple different entities. In my own understandings, these entities are called also a stakeholder, which are related to produce different products and services within a destination. So we have two different stakeholders. First, we have the private sectors, which is in charge to provide accommodation, lodging, food and beverage, and many more. On the other hand, we have the public sectors, which is in charge to provide destination management and production of tourism product. Every stakeholder plays important role in the process. Tourism value chain is a system that describes how private sector firms in collaboration with government.
Two approaches to value chain in tourism. The value chain model has gained popularity among researchers and industry professionals in recent years. However, a closer examination of practice and research reveals that supply chain logic and destination logic, two seemingly conflicting methods, are used to apply the model. First, we have the destination logic. Destination is analyzed as a composition or sequence of services that tourists can benefit from inter-holiday. When studying the destination logic, the tourism professional follows in the tourist's footsteps and evaluates the effect. Additionally, the tourism business will benefit while satisfy the needs of tourists, and the providers will be more profitable if the tourists pay for the additional services. Next, we have the supply chain logic. This logic relies more on porters or carry the original production-oriented model. Each tourism product consists of a chain of production steps where a materials and non-materials resources are added. Each production steps added new value to the product. In examining this logic, the researchers follow not the tourist but the service or product. The production may take from the very start to delivery. The focus in this logic is on business models and how value is generated across sectors by refining and developing of the product. Supply chain will enhance profit at each step in the chain and potentially also benefit tourists through lower prices. The destination value chain. The foundation of tourism destination value chain derive mainly from marketing discipline. When observing tourist behavior and perception, the destination as a service system in each comprehensive will, and for the tourist inevitably be the essential item of interest and purchase. In studying destination, in that interests of tourists are local culture trails and physical fitness. The destination value chain expressed that any tourist will need a range of different services during holiday. For example, travel services stand for transportation, accommodation, catering, experiences, shopping, and others. From this point of view, will supply destination with a variety of providers will be able to generate better tourism with a higher value to tourists. Destination Management Organization or DMOs are strategically occupy the value chain model in three different ways. First, we have a product upgrading strategy that consists of adding quality to tourism product. Next, we have planification strategy that refers to closing gaps in value chain. For example, in the case of destination with good bicycle trails and rental, and the strategy can be dedicated to stimulating entrepreneurs to establish relevant and product services. Lastly, we have horizontal coordination strategy that deals with the efficient linking and including even genuine blueprinting of the entire process.
Good morning, sir and classmate. I will report the supply value chain. The supply chain refers to the system and resources required to move a product or service from supplier to customer, the value chain. Concept builds on this to also consider the manner in which value is added along the chain, both to the product, service, and the actor involved. The supply chain is a process between producing the distributing the product, dealing with the supplier, and logistics of getting the product to market. The value chain is a set of activities carried out by the company with maximize the competitive advantage. A supplier is an entity that provides goods and services to another organization. This entity is part of the supply chain of a business which might provide the bulk of the value content with its a product. Example, producer of rides for the theme parks, producer of light show for discos event and theater, producer of apps for nature experience, food, producer of environmental equipment for hotel core, tourism experience. Kasi yung pangunahing issue sa turismo, hotel attraction, camping, transport, restaurant, mga sign-off, media nga produkto, kalakal, kaalaman, pagkonsulta, edukasyon, branding, CEO.
Tourism multiplier effects have direct, indirect induce on economy. It is not only create job opportunities, income in tourism sectors, but also in related or other sector. It refers on how many times the money expended by a tourist circulates through a specific country or region economy. It is used to calculate the secondary effects, indirect or induced of tourism spending in a destination, region, or country. There are multiplier effects in an economy continuous until the leakage starts by imports and any other reasons. There are three types of tourism expenditures. First is direct expenditures, also known as tourist initial spending. Tourist expenditures on tourism, products and services, or other related goods and services. The next, we have indirect expenditure. It is the transaction between businesses caused by direct tourism expenditures. Like for example, when the hotels pay salaries to their employees or the other hotel buy items from other businesses units. And the third one is induced expenditures. It also known as spending. It is the increased consumption resulting from increasing in providing by direct tourism expenditures. Like the employees, they spend the salary on daily needs like buying vegetables from market. Types of multiplier effect. There are several types of multiplier. The first is the sale or transaction multiplier. It measures the direct, indirect, and induced turnover it generated by extra unit of tourism expenditures or additional business turnover. The second one is output or production multiplier. It measures the extra production and output as a result of increase in commercial or trading activities. And the third one is income multiplier. It measures the income or revenue generated by an additional unit of tourist expenditure. And the fourth is employment multiplier. It measures the employment generated by an extra economic activities or tourist expenditure. And the last one is the official or government revenue tourism multiplier. It shows the net value of tourist expenditure taxes, less subsides of government income from tourists.
Tourism sector is a multi-sectoral and multidisciplinary in nature. It involves different organizations and sectors to ensure that visitors or tourists are facilitated, accommodated, and satisfied. The operating sectors is the one supporting the tourism industry, and these are responsible for providing the needs and the wants of the tourists. Tourism sector is divided into 9 parts. First, the accommodation sector. Accommodation is one of the basic needs of every tourist. It is important because any tourist who wants to travel needs a place to stay, such as hotels and guest houses. Accommodations has a low-cost budget hotels to world-class luxury hotel, and these are available at all major tourist destinations to provide a home away from home experience. Second, the adventure or outdoor recreation sector. Outdoor recreation or outdoor activity is engaged in the outdoors, often in natural or semi-natural settings out of town. This sector includes everything from bird watching to salmon fishing, horseback riding to wilderness trekking. Adventure tourism and recreation is important because it draws those who want to experience nature. With this, there would be a lot of clients that other tourism sectors can also benefit. Third, the attraction sector. Attractions are the main reasons why tourists visit a certain destination. These are places that tourists visit, typically for its inherent or an exhibited natural or cultural value, historical significance, offering leisure and amusement. Attractions includes historic sites, museum, beaches, botanical gardens, and many more. Fourth, the event sector. Events are an important motivator of tourism and figure prominently in the development and marketing plans of the most destinations. This creates an impact not just on the people but also for the industry of the host community because they are the one who will benefit. These are events like Sinulog Festival, Ironman, and Kadaugan sa Mactan. Fifth, the food and beverage sector. This sector comprises establishments primarily engaged in preparing meals, snacks, and beverage to customer order for immediate consumption on and off the premises. This includes from fine and ethnic restaurants, catering firms, pubs, and bars to nightclubs. 6. The tourism services sector is made up of the organizations, associations, government agencies, and companies that specializes in serving the needs of the tourism industry as a whole rather than the needs of travelers specifically. Those working in tourism services includes people who research tourism trends, advertise and market tourism products, educate or inform people about tourism. DOT or Department of Tourism is the best example of tourism services sector. 7th, the transportation sector. Transportation is the means to carry people and goods from one place to another. With the development of transportation, mass production and distribution is possible. This sector is made up of airlines, railroads, and trucking companies. 8. The travel trade sector. Travel trade is a tourism term referring to tour operators, travel agents, receptive operators, and wholesalers. This sector supports the booking and sales in the other sectors. People that work in the travel trade make reservations from accommodation to tours, transportation to food and beverage for attractions. Lastly, the entertainment sector. From the word entertainment is a form of activity that holds the attention and interest of an audience, of given pleasure and delight. In tourism industry, entertainment is a very important sector. These establishments provide tourist or guest relaxation and enjoyment. This includes movie theaters, water parks, carnivals, and so on.
The economic contribution of tourism. Travel and tourism relate to the activity of travelers on trips outside their usual environment with a duration of 1 year. Travel and tourism are important economic activity worldwide, as well as its direct economic impact. The industry has significant indirect and induced impacts. For the direct economic impact, we have the direct contribution to the gross domestic product or the GDP and the direct contribution to the employment, total contribution to GDP, total contribution to employment. For the direct spending impacts, we have the visitor exports, domestic travel and tourism spending, government individual spending, internal tourism consumption, business travel and tourism spending, leisure travel and tourism spending. For the indirect and induced impacts, we have capital investments, government collective spending, supply chain effect, induced contribution, and for the other indicators, we have the outbound expenditures and the foreign visitors' arrivals. And also, travel and tourism has economic advantage. It drives foreign trade, encourages investment, it develops infrastructures and service, and lastly, the broader economic development.